comments. First of all, what we've heard today will be summarized into proceedings, and these proceedings will be circulated and posted on the PNCEMA website within a month. That's what we're hoping for, is to have the proceedings done within a month. And where's Rick? I'm looking at him. So there'll also be sending out a list of participants. There's been some interest. We've heard there's some interest in just sort of having a list of the participants for this meeting, and we'll hope to get that out as soon as possible for those who attended. The consultant team will also be contacting individuals for additional information. I think there was a number of business cards exchanged, and they will be in touch with you to collect specific information. So for those who had some information, they may be in touch with you to follow up on that. And we're planning to actually have the SECOA report, a draft SECOA report completed by the end of March. So that's the timeline right now for completing the report. And we've heard an ongoing interest sort of in engaging with the whole socioeconomic overview, and so we're looking into opportunities and how we would provide that. So that's just certainly have heard over the course of the 2 days is a real interest in engaging in this. And so just to finalize, thanks again. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Chief Nelson to provide some closing remarks. So thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Neil. Well, you know, we got to still have a good audience here, and it's been a really constructive 2 days. When I first was called to do the welcome, I was wondering what the forum was going to be about. I thought it was going to be a forum similar to November, where we called all the coastal First Nations together, but after sitting down for a while, looking at that agenda and realizing it's the stakeholders, which is good. All stakeholders, we're all stakeholders in the industry and sea resources, and it's important to all of us what develops. You know, as far as First Nations go, we are main stakeholders, but we have a different avenue to deal with it. We have government to government, and we could not really talk about some issues here because some issues are sensitive. So I really thank the group and for their respect and that they had shown as we discuss our cultural stuff, especially in this last forum here. It was good, to share some of our history and the stuff that was put on the board, and our connection here, and our table said, well, if we don't learn your history, how are we going to know who you are? When our students go to school, they learn about French and everything, so that's all, they grew up with that. If you take French, like our students that are going to school here in Prince Rupert learning Somalia, we're proud that they have that opportunity to learn our language and our culture. So of course, what kind of struck me in the last 2 days here was, what came out in my mind was, I thought one of the main things was the marine transportation. Because as Tsimshian Nation from Metlakatla and the allied tribes of Lachlan, we're in the hub, we're in the center of all kinds of activity on the ocean, recreation, commercial, just so many other user groups. Like in Rupert here, we're a multicultural community. We have all other nations that have chosen Rupert to live. Niska, the Haisla, the Giksen, the Peltan. So we're multicultural, and they all want to share our resources. We respect that, and some of them get the opportunity to go out and harvest. And that's our concern in this area, is the transportation part, as we grow with cruise ships, with our container ships, with other, the big growth in recreation, activity on the water. One disaster from a ship could really impact the resources we depend on, that we've been talking about today. Most of us at the First Nations, we live off the water. You know, I haven't had to feed a meat here for about 3 weeks. You know, I go out every day and catch a fresh salmon and go get clams, whatever's in the water. That's how I live. And that's a concern I have about, you know, the changes we see now with the growth in the marine sector. One disaster from a big container ship could wipe out all our resources, could impact it in Chatham Sound alone. Like seaweed, you know, we depend on it. You know, right the month of May, we'll go pick that stuff. Right now, in the next week or two, we'll be out harvesting oligans maybe up in the Skeena River, you know. Even though we've had a problem with their returns, we're hoping this year they would come back so that we go and harvest it and enjoy it again and teach our children, you know, the importance of that resource, you know, to the families. So that was one of the things that kind of stood out in my mind about, you know, the changes I experienced within my territory here. Other than that, you know, I sort of really enjoyed just the discussions in the different work areas here, and sitting with different groups and exchanging information, ideas, and hearing other stakeholders' concerns and up and down the coast within the Pensima area. And it's good, you know, even though we do have our own get-togethers with First Nations, and we have, you know, other concerns, you know, real concerns that we don't discuss in the public, and we don't want to really create anything sensitive to end up having a, you know, a real animated discussion about, you know, because when, you know, rights and title, like the gentleman from Heifler said, you know, that's going to be on a government-to-government level, you know, and it wouldn't be discussed in forums such as this. So I'd like to thank the facilitators, I guess, I'm not sure if it's Indian Stewardship group for hosting this, the consultants that have come and just to organize a good discussion around all the issues that were discussed from the recreation, the commercial, the marine, the cultural. There's so much there, and it's good to have those discussions with all stakeholders and have a better understanding what everybody feels, you know, and that concerns them, you know, and especially on the economic part, you know. We're all being impacted on the downturn in the commercial sector, you know, up and down the coast, you know, huge changes, you know. We just can't generate the income from that we used to have, you know, years back. Where families, you know, made a good living, you know, right through the family, our parents, the children, you know, they would go to work in the canneries when times are good to help put them through university, to pay for their tuition, you know, and that's a big loss for young people now, that opportunity to gain employment in the summertime when the resources are coming back. So I'd like to just once again acknowledge all hereditary chiefs that have come from other nations to join us, to their matriarchs. It's important that I acknowledge them and you know, welcome them in the territory as they would welcome me if I go within their territory, the Haida. So in close, I would just you know, wish you all a safe journey home to wherever you come from, and I think you have gained something to you know, put some thought to and have some more discussion on as we carry on this Pensima workshop. So thank you very much for your attention, and God bless you all, and have a safe journey back.